He expelled hundreds of students. He carried a baseball bat around with him. He screamed at his teachers in front of students and peers. And he put chains on the doors of his school. And yet, his students' test scores on the minimum skills exam increased from 38% passing to the 75% threshold set by the state of New Jersey, allowing the school to avoid being taken over by the state. But was Lean on Me's Joe Clark a leader? Hey everybody, welcome to Are They Leaders, a new segment here on Chris Fitzpatrick Speaks, where we will discuss and debate leadership in film and television. So to kick off this new segment, we needed a controversial figure from a classic movie. And who better than Morgan Freeman's portrayal of Crazy Joe Clark?
They used to call me Crazy Joe, well now they can call me Batman.
Sorry, Batman, but I have to stick with Joe Clark. On this segment, I will discuss some of the arguments for and against each figure as a leader, but the ultimate decision is yours. This is a debate show after all, so get ready to add your thoughts in the comment section below. Debate passionately, but respectfully. Also, in the case of historical figures being portrayed in films and TV, I will only be discussing the leadership shown in the film or the show, not the accuracy of the film, and not the faithfulness to the true story. But of course, you're welcome to discuss that in the comment section too. So let's head on over to Paterson, New Jersey's Eastside High and ask the question, is Joe Clark a leader? Not a leader? Or is it complicated?
You are not inferior. Your grades may be, your school may have been, but you can turn that around and make liars out of those bastards in exactly 1 hour, and you take that test and pass it and win.
Joe Clark doesn't pretend to be anything other than a transformational and situational leader. A transformational leader is not brought in to maintain the status quo or to work within existing systems. No, they are brought in to demolish and rebuild the systems that have failed. Joe Clark walked into Eastside High and made it clear that things could not continue the way they were going, that the bar needed to be set higher, that discipline and process would be foundational to success, and that nothing mattered more than the education the students were receiving. A situational leader is one who rises to their best when the situation calls for them to, and not every leader is equipped to handle every situation. For example, in the world of sports, when a team becomes too loose and undisciplined under a more relaxed coach, the program might bring in a disciplinarian to reset the culture. When the rigidity of the disciplinarian wears on the veteran players, the program may bring in a player's coach. Joe Clark's style wouldn't work everywhere or every single time, but there was a situation facing Eastside High at that time, and that situation required transformation. Kenneth Toole, a former principal, once said of the real Joe Clark, "You cannot use a democratic and collaborative style when crisis is rampant and disorder reigns."
Distinctly said, no one moved during the singing of the school song. Now, if you can't understand that, find yourself another place to work.
I was picking up a piece of paper.
They contradicted me in front of my students.
They're my students.
They are my students, Mr. Donnell.
What Clark was not, however, was a servant leader. Instead of empowering his team and leading through them, he publicly excoriated them and took a pure authoritarian approach. He demanded humility bordering on shame from those he was charged to lead, while using dominance bordering on egotism. Great leaders don't fear dissent. They welcome it as a sign that others care and that they can feel safe bringing up concerns. But Clark viewed dissent as disloyalty and insubordination. Single-mindedness was another challenge for Clark. He correctly recognized that there were people getting into his school who shouldn't be there, and that was counterproductive to his goals of transforming the school. So, he put chains on the doors to keep those people out. He claimed that this was to keep his students safe, but he could not see how it also endangered them. When the fire chief told him that the chains were a violation of code, Clark dismissed the concern as just another obstacle to be run over. So we have fear, a lack of feedback, and potential dangers from the very man whose job it was to ensure safety and communication. And so we have to ask, how is Joe Clark's leadership to be judged? By the test results? By his good intentions? By his extreme methods? By a sustainable leadership model? Is it good enough that the test scores rise? Is it bad enough that he eroded morale? Is safety a cost worth paying in the quest for transformation? And is ethical leadership ever negotiable in an emergency? Is Joe Clark a leader? Drop your argument in the comments, come with it strong, and let's have a fun discussion. And while you're making your argument in the comments, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't do it slowly. Do it... Go
on and do it expeditiously.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Expeditiously. On the next edition of Are They Leaders, join us as we head out to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Tangiers Hotel and Casino to meet Sam Ace Rothstein. Excuse me, Mr. Rothstein, should we all bring a different number of blueberries to the next video?
An equal amount of blueberries in each muffin.
Thank you for clearing that up for me, sir. We'll see you next time on Are They Leaders, only on Chris Fitzpatrick Speaks.